G'day guys. Okay, so little story time. So a little bit of context prior to this, I am absolutely shit scared of spiders. I mean, who isn't? I'm like, the only type of spider that can even remotely handle being anywhere near me is the daddy long legs, and that's just about it. But anything else, absolute freak out, can't sleep. I don't. I just can't. So today, I was in a little bit of a rush to leave the house because I was running late. I needed to catch my train. Now I have to rely on my parents to get me from point A to B, simply because I still don't have my license yet. Simple as that. Now, we're about 3-5 minutes away from the station, and I feel something in my shoe. And I'm just like, shit, there is a spider in my fucking shoe. And I can actually feel it moving. And I don't know if it's a big spider or a small spider. I just know it is one I can feel. And I went into complete anxiety attack mode. My body was shaking like... Now, when I get really bad anxiety attacks, I'm one of those people that shakes and shakes bad. Like, some people could probably confuse me with having, no, probably not as bad as an epileptic seizure, but on that kind of level of bad. And I was like on the verge of hyperventilating, and I was crying, and I was freaking the fuck out trying to like squash it and just like kill it, and I was just like, and I thought I'd done a semi-decent job, I guess. And so my mom's just trying to keep me calm, and like, because if I didn't get to the station when I did, there's a slight chance I could have missed the train. And I was just like, no, just get my ass to the station. Because honestly, the last thing that I needed was to miss that train. Now, the shoes that I was wearing, these are my creepers. Well, these are my lacy creepers. I have another pair of creepers as well. But these are my babies. I wear them basically everywhere. So these are basically my go-to shoes, and I love them to pieces. So they're comfortable. I wear them all day. When I was doing work experience with my hairdresser, I wore these all day, and they're really good because they're closed in, slightly alternative, and they look good. So no OH&S problems here. But because of the way I like to lace them, just for extra, like, security, I actually have to double knot them. And I hate needing to double knot my shoes. It actually is a bit of a pet peeve of mine, to be honest. But, you know, I do it. And so I had to basically undo 2 things in my shoes while I'm shaking. You know, and I get to the station, and I get to the train. My train's like one of the first of the whole line. So, you know, the train's there waiting to go, and I get on the train. I just I've touched on my Mikey. I get on the train, and I take off my shoe. This giant ass huntsman just climbs up out of my shoe, and like, so it basically comes out of this bit here and just starts climbing on my shoe. And I just started freaking out because I was just like, I can't live with this, I can't live with this. And there was this woman there. And she was a mother, and I had a quick look at her daughter. Her daughter was probably about 4, maybe 5 years old. And she helped out by she ended up picking up my shoe and putting it onto the platform and actually getting the spider off for me. Which was... Honestly, this is why I'm making the video, honestly. It's because of the fact that a complete stranger, you know, helped me out when I was clearly in a bad of distress. I did thank her, and I apologized for being quite kind of hysteric, for lack of a better word. I wasn't as bad as I was in the car, but I was just like, who wouldn't freak out, honestly? But I am really, really grateful to this woman, because it's like, you know, I think a lot of people could have just turned away and just be like, no, you're dealing with that yourself. I'm really, really grateful, and I'm glad to see that there are people like this, you know, in the world still. You know, the fact that she was basically just willing to help almost straight away was just so wonderful. You know, and it made a really shitty situation all right. Like, it was nearly, I will not say it was worth going through that. I will never say it was worth, but it was almost worth going through that hell. It ended up taking me a while to actually recover. Like, I ended up actually taking both shoes off until after I'd met my boyfriend, Mr. Wolf. Until I'd met him, and I was just, you know, we actually ended up using the torch app on my phone to make absolutely sure there was nothing in there, because I swear I could still feel something in there when I was putting it on. So I took off my shoes, and I was just trying to, like, calm the fuck down. And yeah, so I was really weary, and then after we made absolutely sure there was nothing left in there, I put my shoes back on and I did them up as usual. And it was just, this like little twitch in the back of my brain. And it was just, oh my god, it was horrible. I cannot begin to tell you though, like. And then what's really interesting is about a month ago, 2 weeks to a month ago, I ended up actually like stepping barefoot on a huntsman. And it, like I said, it was a huntsman that came out of my freaking shoe, and those things are huge. And it just, when I realized, it just like scared away. And I was just like, I turned into a little kid. You know, in public, I can't exactly turn into a little kid. And, you know, it's just this thing. I do not ever want to go through that hell again. Now, I honestly don't know how I didn't notice it when I was at home. Now, if I had noticed it when I was at home, I probably would have gone and changed my shoes, and this whole debacle might have been avoided. But, you know, I didn't feel it until I was it's about a 10 to 15 minute drive from my house to the station. And honestly, it's kind of like, I don't understand how it basically only started there. Now, the only logic I can think of, it was the car we were taking. But even then, I have no idea how a huntsman can basically get into these babies. Because you can see, these babies are solid. Like, literally, they are solid. And where it was just, it was here. Like, it wasn't here, it was here. Like, at the very, very front of my shoe. And I cannot begin to tell you the horror for someone like me. Like, my dad on the way home today, because he was the one who picked me up from the station, he made fun of me for it. Typical. Alright guys, so that's my little story time for today. I'm sorry if people thought it was clickbait. I don't really like doing any videos that are clickbaity. I don't ever plan to. I just, like, I plan to do a video that's true to the title. And that's why a lot of my rants don't really have names. It's because I don't know what to call them. So it's just, it's easy. Rant 1, rant 2, blah, 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 blah. But like I said, you know, the reason I'm calling this basically spider in the shoe is because that's what fucking happened. I had a spider in my fucking shoe. And there was this lovely lady who helped me out, who was a stranger. And yeah. Something else I want to tell you guys at the end of this video is something that Mr. Wolf has been talking to me about is saying that I should start doing vlogs. Not like regular daily vlogs or anything, but if, you know, particularly if he and I are doing something interesting. I can tell you we actually did something really interesting today. I don't have any video of that. But, you know, whenever we do anything a little bit interesting, you know, possibly doing a vlog about it. That way I'm still posting and not just waiting for videos like rants and the very odd story time. Alright guys, I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.